Hi, Carolina here, and today I will be talking about dark night of the soul. The purpose of this video is to help you to understand what you're going through, because you may think that you're crazy or something is wrong with you, or wondering actually what is wrong with you, that nothing and no one can help you. And maybe you are in emotional pain or physical pain, and it seems like no one can tell you what is happening to you. I've gone and I'm still on that awakening process, the dark night of the soul, and my partner also is going through this journey. And I know a few friends going or gone through that journey as well. So I want to share with you how this may look for you. Of course, every journey is a different. So what I've gone through, you may gone through differently. However, I want to just share with you what you may expect on that journey. So what is not the dark night of the soul or the awakening is definitely not depression. Even you may feel like something is like broken within you, or you may feel like you have no energy for doing things, you're not that passionate or inspired. However, this is not depression. This is not clinical depression. This is not clinical anxiety. This is truly the journey on soul level. And I remember when I was going through the first, especially phase of dying of the process, it is hard. It is really hard. The whole journey is not easy journey. However, I want you to see that there is a gift with it, because you really birth yourself through that journey. And I'm gonna share my story here. So this way, I hope I will help you to understand the whole journey process. So how this journey can start is normally when something big happened in your life, some big events. In my case was when my actually there was like lots of grief. First we broke up with one of my boyfriend, then my father died, my granny died, but most importantly, this I felt like I was grieving. However, when my brother committed suicide, this moment I felt like I died with him, like something died with me. And for a long time, of course, I thought that I am just grieving. However, going through the process of awakening, I realized that it wasn't only the grieving. Of course, it was part of it. However, there was much deeper process within me happening, because I've transformed through this process. So this process can last a few months or few years. My die-off process lasts around 4 years, and my partner now is going through the dying off process, and he's already more than 3 years in this process. And I just want to share with you how this looked for me and how it looks for him, because completely different journeys. So the first phase is a big pain, and you may feel like, oh my God, this is enough. When this is gonna end? I remember me saying constantly, maybe next month I'm gonna feel better. Maybe next week I'm gonna feel better. I was like seeking something that can help me to ease the pain, because for me my journey was a lot about soul level. Like on soul level, the pain was on soul level, it was super deep. With my partner is a different story. What affected him was the finance. So that's why I'm saying big events. So for me was, I lost someone very important to me. It can be, for example, breakup, divorced, money issues, like you've lost job, for example, or you've lost a lot of money. This was in our case. So we just started traveling and we've lost whole money, and he got really stressed with that. to that point that he couldn't get out of bed. And this is how really this dying off process started for him. So for my partner was very much about the physicality, and he still have days that he can't get out of bed, and now he has more and more good days, because this year we've just realized that this is awakening process and nothing we can do. And believe me, we've tried so many things. At the time we were in Bali and Thailand, we were traveling around there, and I was like all the time his supporter and finding different diets, because of course we saw this first as fatigues, like chronic fatigues, maybe adrenal fatigues. Some people were telling us that maybe this is fibromyalgia. All these kind of names we've heard. We went to doctor to do some checkups. All was okay. So again, created even more confusion. The test showing it's everything okay. However, he's not able to get out of bed. So this is how has been showing up for him, and he's still on this journey of dying off. And I will explain more what it means. So mine was this emotional pain, the pain on soul body. Physically, I was actually okay. And for him, was all about deep exhaustion, tiredness. We've tried diets. We went to see many healers. We tried plant medicine. Oh my God, we could name it. Many things we've tried. And this is why I'm sharing this video, because you may feel lost on this journey. I wish that somebody told me what I knew now, that I would probably not judging myself so much, because there would be understanding that this is a process of awakening and there is nothing to do than just accept that journey and surrender to that journey. And I'm honest with you, I have been learning so much patience on that journey with my partner, because at the beginning, of course, I thought that this is gonna be lasting maybe a few weeks or few months, and it's over 3 years right now. So I feel that he's just at the end, he's approaching end of this dying off process, but he's still on. I don't know how long. So this journey taught me, being there next to him and supporting him, patience and acceptance that it is his journey. And even if I find him the best healer in the world, I will try to cook special diet for him. He still needs to go through his journey by himself, and I can only accept that as he needs to accept that and surrender to this journey. And he's been very good on that point. He's been always feeling and telling me that he feels that there's nothing wrong with him in terms of yes, physicality. He's just going through some process. So intuitively, he already knew that and knows that. It's just the understanding of that this is the dark night of the soul, or awakening, however you call that. It just help us to really relax with this whole process and surrender to that, and trusting that when this will be over, especially this dying off process, which can be very painful on many levels, he will come out of that as I did. And there will be huge gift, because normally huge transformation is happening on that journey. So let me share my story. So my dying off was a lot of about what is going on with me, what's happened, when this is gonna end. I was literally watching calendar and said, okay, it's April, maybe in May I'll feel better, maybe in June I will feel better. And yes, it wasn't easy. You definitely on that journey later on, you facing all your fears. you're facing all the programming, you're facing your traumas, you're facing anxiety, you're facing beliefs. So for me, it was everything what I believed suddenly didn't make sense. Everything, it's things like collapse. It felt like all collapsed. Like I didn't know anymore who I am, what I want, what I believe. Like huge confusion of what is happening with me. I knew I changed and changing in many ways. And yeah, there's lots of unknowing. I actually one day sat with myself. I'm like, number one, I realized, wow, I'm actually unhappy. And this is where the magic started happening, when I acknowledged and was very honest to myself and authentic and said, I'm not happy with my life. Something has to really change. And then I've manifested or attracted my first spiritual teacher, who she didn't tell me what I'm going through. She just kind of supported me and helped me to put me on the path of self-healing and self-discovering, which then started unfolding beautifully. So yeah, lots of, for me, was emotional pain. And then lots of facing my demons, my ego, because this is the process of dying. Your ego is dying on that dying of process. And it wasn't easy. I have still days that I cried, and still some patterns coming up, or still things coming up for me to shift and transform and heal. However, of course, it's nothing like this. Now I am already in completely different journey. But at that dying of process, really painful. I felt like the kind of ego, those patterns, those old way of thinking and being, knew that the time is over for them, the time is over for this, and they still try to do anything to pull you back in that old story or old patterns, and so on. During this dying off process, you may realize you are in wrong relationship and you may leave that relationship, or the situation will be created during this process that basically there will be over of this relationship, there will be breakup. This happened in my relationship. During this dying off process, that the relationship had to go, basically, because there was no alignment. Suddenly I realized that I am former accountant, so I realized I'm actually not accountant, but who am I? I suddenly started being bored with my job, not inspired, not motivated. I felt so much guilt about this because I had a really great job and great bosses. I couldn't complain. I was growing there. I was studying towards my to become chartered accountant. However, on a deep level, I felt uninspired. Every day I faced the office and I sat in front of monitor. I felt I'm dying here. I just can't any longer be here. The conversation that were happening around me, I was like, I no longer want to hear that. I no longer want to be part of it. And I didn't know what is happening to me because I chose to study and work in accountancy field. No one pushed me to that. It was my decisions and so many hours invested and of course money. And suddenly what? I'm like, I felt that I no longer belong there. So this had to go as well on this dying off process. And there was huge questions, what now? 7 years in accountancy and studying towards to be chartered accountant, and now what? What am I supposed to do now? So again, this really pushed me into the energy of trust and surrender. I actually had no other choice than surrender to that. And yes, things started unfolding. I started having deeper connection with the soul, spirit, my soul, universe, whatever you call that, whatever you can connect, and asking them, please support me, please guide me. What am I supposed to do? What now? I no longer literally can't go in my office because I feel like I am in prison on soul level, but the new path is not open yet. So as you see, my career, my relationship had to go. And also, I used to live in UK. So this was as well the process of dying off, that I realized the time in UK, it's over. And again, where I supposed to go? For sure not to my country. I am from Poland, so I knew that no, I don't belong there. There is not my energy. So where to go now? So can you see, like in my case, lots of things were changing, and I had to release all of that. And you may face lots of fear because there's lots of unknown. You actually don't know anything any longer. So this was my case. With my partner, last 3 years, it's yes, definitely he's facing himself in many levels, because any patterns like pleasing people, like definitely he always wanted me to be happy, and of course he still wants me to be happy. However, he had to shift this pattern, like pleasing people, having better boundaries. Otherwise, how he can shift and move forward? And now he's still going through the phase of releasing these old patterns, old beliefs, old stories, toxins from his system, old energies, and like his body and his system is being upgraded. So this is how has been showing for him, more in the physical. However, he's been shifting on every level. He has grown so much on a business side, on spiritual level. He really reconnected with himself on so many levels. However, yes, he's got days like I am shooting this video right now, he's resting. So I've heard also stories from my friend that when the dying of process started for them, they woke up and they were like, they had like a psychic attacks or implants and felt like they are attacked. So there was lots of anxiety, fear. They literally freaked out because they didn't know what is happening to them. They could see all these beings that normally people don't see, and that is real. And then of course I can only imagine, of course I can only imagine that she must be questioning herself, what the hell is happening to her? Is she going also crazy? And then of course you're scared to speak with someone because you don't want that judgment from others, and you may feel like no one understands you. So yeah, I know that she was looking for a support, for mentor to help her on that journey. So yes, you can see other beings, you can open up on a multi-dimensional level. You may go through this as well. So I'm just sharing different scenarios just in case you can relate to one of these stories. And then when this kind of dying off process finishing kind of, and you're stepping into more rebirthing yourself, you're really reconnecting with your soul, with your purpose. Suddenly you know what you're supposed to do. Like I suddenly realized I'm a healer. I need to work with people. I need to support them to transform as I've transformed my life, as I've healed all my traumas, as I've released all the belief system, as I've awakened and opened up for so many things in my life. And I've changed every single aspect of my life. So I realized I am a guide now for other people, and this is how I've reconnected with my purpose. And of course, on that journey still, at the beginning of this new phase when you're really growing, you still have days where you just on the floor and crying because you feel like you're moving 2 steps forward and then 3 steps backwards. You feel aligned and you feel like you are in your purpose. But then you have days again that your trauma's coming up. There's still things coming up for you what needs to be healed. Mother-father issue, any relationship issues. So still any patterns, beliefs, still you're shifting. As you're already on this new path, you're still going in and out with this kind of, it's like a dance. You feel empowered, you feel amazing, and then you have days, okay, this is coming up, let me shift that. So, and you're still shifting this, the ego. Even though you feel like empowered, you're still going through the death of your ego as well on this phase. And then it may feel like you start building good foundation. So in my story was like, I've reconnected with myself. I knew, okay, I need to work with clients, then what? So of course I was searching and still working and searching for new teachers and mentors to grow, to evolve, to make it strong. And this was what I was doing at the time. I knew that I need help. I need someone who can help me to grow, to evolve, to reconnect even on a deeper level and shift whatever I need to shift to really fully step into my power. So like building solid foundation on that new journey. So this is the phase, and then the journey and the last phase, it feels like, and I feel like I am now, you really know yourself, who you are. You really know why you are here. And that's it. No one can take this away from you. You just being you, whether people like you or not, you're just becoming a different person, or you seeing things differently. And what I see, that I am much more connected with myself and love energy. And seeing people from the place of love instead of judgment, assumptions. And I can see how this beautifully playing out in my relationship, like how much I've healed the relationship with my mom, how different is now communication, and even she's in her old patterns. I no longer triggered with this. I am compassionate with this, and when I see someone is in a bad mood, a bad day, I'm sending love and compassion to them because they must be in pain. So there's lots of love energy and compassion, and for me it feels like lots of alignment and lots of peace. Yes, I still have some days that absolutely it's a constant growth, it's never finish. I also reach out to my amazing guides to support me on my journey, but it's a different journey than when you are at the beginning of this first phase or even second phase of this journey. Like I feel like this is like my third phase of this journey, like you're really going now up, and now you're just like expanding on so many levels, and this is me. So this is how it feels. So I hope that this helped you. So if you're listening this video, if you have any questions, feel free to connect with me. What I want to also say, what is truly important on this journey, it's acceptance. Acceptance that this is it. This is your awakening process, and not much you can do. Like I've shared with you, no diet. We've tried with my partner so many different things, buying superfood, qigong, all of this, healings, different modalities. And guess what? This is his journey. He needs to go through this journey himself. I am just there wherever he needs me, however he wants me to support. I'm there for him. But I needed to let go of finding millions of things for him and being patient with him with this process, because I know for me it's been 7 years on this journey, and I hope that your journey is much shorter, but it can be so long. So patience, acceptance, not creating resistance. It is what it is. When you are in pain physically, like he's just lying and connecting with his body and just accepting where he is. When I was in pain, yes, at the first stage when I shared with you, I was like, when is gonna finish? But then I remember intuitively I was just accepting where I am and trusting that universe, souls, angels, whatever you believe, will bring me the right teacher and the right mentors and put me on the right path. And guess what? Always that happened. Always. Even when I shared with you, when I suddenly realized that actually all my life I was not happy. I am not happy because all these traumas and what I've gone through in my life. As I shared with you, when I was very honest with myself and when I acknowledged that I'm not happy and something needs to change in my life, because it felt like I'm going upstream all the time instead of downstream, this is where I attracted my first mentor. And from that moment, I've always been guided. I've always been sent the support through different teachers, mentors. And I just want to remind you that they cannot do this for you. Yes, they can help you with some things, give you understanding. Some teacher helped me to heal certain aspect of me or this old wounds and release that old trauma, so then I could reconnect with myself on a deeper level. However, this is your journey, and only you can go through that. So patience, surrendering, and acceptance, it's a must. So I'm inviting you, accepting where you are every single moment on this journey, being patient with yourself, surrender to what is showing up and how things are unfolding for you, and trusting that you are guided. Even if it feels super lonely, you are guided. So wishing you, if you are going through this, wishing you a smooth journey as possible. And if you ever want to connect with me, please feel free to do that. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.